Hey, gorgeous. Welcome to the Hormone Puzzle Podcast. I'm your host, Coach Kayla Smith, CEO of the Hormone Puzzle Society, a woman's health hub for fertility, hormones, and the business of coaching, creator of the Hormone Puzzle Method, an infertility warrior, two-time boy mom, and women's health expert. This podcast is for women struggling with infertility, painful periods, terrible PMS, or really any symptom of hormone imbalance that they are ready to eliminate for good. Tune in weekly because we will be interviewing amazing experts in the field of women's health, breaking down those hormone walls, nerding out on nutrition, and having way too much fun. Whether you're just beginning your fertility journey or you've been struggling for years, we are going to finally help you put those pieces of your hormone puzzle back together so that you can get pregnant and eliminate those pesky symptoms for good. Are you ready? Thank you so much for tuning in. Now let's get started on your road to transformation. Anna Reyes, LHNP, received her holistic diploma from the Canadian Holistic School of Nutrition. She is licensed and a member of the Canadian Association of Integrative Nutrition, which is the leader in professional training standards and ethics for holistic nutritionists. Anna received her legal degree in one of the top universities in Moscow, Russia. Anna's professional background has given her an opportunity to serve women who struggle with infertility and change one life at a time. Anna can be heard on her own podcast, The Fertility Mentor, and on her YouTube channel, Natural Fertility. Hi, Anna. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, Kayla. It was a pleasure.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about you and what you do, who you are, all of that.
So my name is Anna Reyes, and I am fertility expert. So I just got my license for holistic nutrition. So I'm super excited about that. And I help women to become moms by boosting their reproductive potential.
I love it. And what led you down that road? Did you have your own struggle with fertility or just really passionate about this?
I think we all do, right? So whoever comes to fertility will have our own story. My story is not as broad as somebody else's, and I have not struggled. I have not went through IVF and all this horrible. I didn't have those horrible experiences. However, I did have I was struggling with infertility myself with my first daughter, and it took me a while to actually figure it out what was the cause. And it wasn't something that it was actually something that we were eating, and I didn't actually connect the dots until we started trying for our second one. And once we started actually trying for the second one, and I was already enrolled into the holistic nutrition program, so we tell you a little story. My mom came over here just to visit us, and she saw us like literally taking a whole bunch of vitamins. And I know that women who are struggling with infertility, you probably have a list of 100 different supplements which you're taking every single day, right? So that was me. That was definitely, and I was just doing something blind and based on what I studied, right? And the funniest thing is the moment we decided to have a second baby, we got it. So, and I was like, so why did it take me longer to get pregnant with my first baby? And how I was able to get pregnant with my second baby so fast. So we didn't expect that. So
yeah, that's very similar to what happened with me. Like I struggled with infertility for over 2 years. It took us so long to get pregnant. We finally were able to reverse that. I got pregnant. And then once we decided to have another one, it was like on the first try. So it's almost like once I figured out what food was messing with my body, what I was doing that was causing the infertility, I was able to fix that. And then I could get pregnant again. So it's pretty cool how all that works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us what you said there was a food that you realized you were sensitive to. What was that?
So I think we'll be talking a little bit more about, right, the egg quality and the foods which are hurting your fertility and can boost your fertility. So for me, as out of my personal story, when we decided to improve our health, right, and prepare our body for pregnancy, and that's another thing is whenever I moved here to Canada, and I'm originally from Russia, I think like our medical systems are a little different. So back where I'm from, we do have reproductive centers, but they're not as fertility centers. They're actually pairing you. So they are doing tests on you just to make sure that your body is actually ready to get pregnant. So when I come here and I went to my family doctor, that was a big surprise that nobody has it. Like people just keep trying, not thinking about what exactly happening with their body. Nobody educates you about how exactly your body works. And I still get questions from my prospect clients or my current clients about how my body actually works. So we don't really have that understanding, which is interesting. So for us, it was whenever we decided to finally prepare actually our body for getting pregnant, we went on a so-called paleo diet, right? So we basically eliminated all types of allergens and tried to repair our guts, because we all know that our immune system comes from the gut. So, and we went even worse. We actually went into autoimmune protocol, which is even more strict than the paleo diet. And we lived like this for almost a year. I don't recommend anybody to go for a year on the autoimmune protocol diet, just because it's not sustainable to go longer periods. But we were crazy. Crazy. We just decided, why not?
Yeah.
And yes. And for me, when I found out, when we started getting back to life and started introducing back the foods, we both found out that we are intolerant to gluten. So I cannot tolerate any kind of wheat in any form. I'm not a celiac, but I know that whenever I touch anything with wheat, I'm getting bloated. I don't feel well. I feel low energy. Like, sometimes when you eat some meal and you literally, the only thing you want to do is just relax.
Go to sleep.
Don't touch me. So this is the food for me. I'm also intolerant to milk. And for milk, I knew that because I have the reaction in a way that I just throw up, basically.
Oh, wow.
So it's a quite obvious reaction. But normally I would tolerate yogurt or any kind of fermented or processed milk. But after the diet, I actually figured out that I cannot do those ones as well, because I feel also bloated, and some nuts as well. So all these things, we obviously eliminated from our diet, and I eliminated from my diet. I was reading a lot about already back at that time about how I can actually increase the egg quality, because I want to have a super baby. Like every mom wants to have a super baby, healthy and smart and beautiful. So we all want, right? We want to be proud of our babies. So I started to dig a little bit more into what kind of foods I can introduce, what kind of supplements, and at the end of the day, so I think I succeeded.
Yes. I love that. And that is such an important point. I talk to my clients about that all the time, how just the gluten sensitivity, maybe you're not celiac, but if you're sensitive, it can definitely impact your fertility. Same with dairy. Sometimes I'll have clients, they just remove that from their diet and they get pregnant. And it's as simple as that. So yes, definitely looking at your food sensitivities, figuring out what works for you and what doesn't, and removing them, and then you end up pregnant. So it's truly amazing how that can work.
It is.
Awesome. Well, let's dive into a little bit more with nutrition. So, tell me just your general recommendations for nutrition and fertility. We talk about this a lot, but I love to hear from a nutritionist standpoint, kind of your views on all of that.
So as I said, the core of what I'm doing is basically figuring out for my clients what foods hurt their fertility, what food can boost their fertility, and what kind of supplements they can take. So some people can do what I did, right, and do the harsh way, but I'm pretty sure that when you're already overwhelmed with all the medication, with all the fertility treatments which you're going through, you don't want to put another stress, because thinking about what you have to take out from your life, which has already been taken out because your emotions has been taken out, right? Your family stability has been taken out. And now probably a lot of us are finding comfort in our food, right? And we're talking about taking comfort from that. So like, how sustainable is that? No, for nobody. Like I had a couple of clients who was just like, there is no way I'm going to go without my French fries, So the only reason how to do it is right to figure it out. Like I do normally the blood test for food sensitivities based on the ELISA method. So it's basically the most precise method to figure it out, unless you want to try what I did, right?
Right.
And once we see those foods, and we obviously start another test which I do is bioenergetic scanning. So that one actually shows me what imbalances people have in their systems. Okay. So it's not as precise as saying you would go to the doctor and get some blood work done. However, you get just the idea of where the problems could be. And then to balance out those balances, I use basics of the Chinese medicine. So I use balancing out foods they are either warming foods or cold foods. And we're just trying to combine all these recommendations and making it more sustainable to the clients. So, and both of those ones also helps me to determine which supplements you need to take as well.
Gotcha. I love that. And I always talk about you're on a fertility diet. This is not for the rest of your life. You don't have to give up French fries for the rest of your life, but just until you can get pregnant.
Exactly. And you don't need to get crazy, right? If you want to have French fries, like once in a while, it's okay. Like you don't have to literally go book by book. I had a client who I did recommendations, and she literally wanted everything book word by word to apply. And she texted me in a week. She's like, it's not manageable. I'm like, of course, because it's guidelines, right? So it's just something that you need to have more in your life. And then whatever you used to have, just less. So it's just balancing out, right? And making sure that it's more sustainable for you and your lifestyle.
I love it. Yes, I completely agree. Awesome. So talk to me a little bit more about egg quality. Are there specific foods that you recommend for boosting egg quality?
So let's start with the ones which actually could hurt your fertility, right?
Yeah.
So I found in my practices, there are 3 main offenders. So, and we talked about them a little bit. So one will be wheat, another will be dairy, and the third one will be soy. So I want to just explain a little bit more of how basically the food recommendations can impact your fertility in general, right? What's the connection? So the main connection is obviously the inflammation. So whenever we get into our body something that your body cannot tolerate, it causes some sort of inflammation. So what is inflammation? And the good example is whenever you get sick, how do you feel?
Terrible.
Terrible, right?
Yeah.
So you have temperature, you're probably like sneezing. The only thing you want to do is literally go and sleep and leave me alone for a couple of hours, right? Or days, whatever. So this is basically the good example of inflammation. So this is the visible. However, our body has an invisible inflammation, and we may actually feel it, but we may not pay attention to it. And the reason being is, so there are 2 types, again, of how your body can react to foods. It's either going to show you these visible signs, like in the case of allergies, or an invisible side in case of a silent inflammation or intolerances. So whenever you have something that's like allergy, you will see it right away. You will have probably swollen muscles, or you'll have raised temperatures, or you'll have a rash. With intolerances, you won't see reaction for about 48 hours. So, and then a lot of times when people eat something, then don't associate some sort of reaction with whatever they ate. So, for example, if you are intolerant to wheat, and then maybe a couple of hours after, or maybe the next day, you feel some sort of bloating, you'll think, oh, maybe it's okay. It's just it's just my normal feeling, That's just who am I. So they won't really associate that whatever they ate with however they feel. So, and this is why it's harder to actually identify those foods. So, however, based on how many tests I already did, I found out that these 3 is basically the main ones. Basically, 95% of whoever I did the test has some sort of wheat intolerance. And what I always say is there are a couple of reasons why. So it could be something inherited. If you have in your family anybody who has celiac disease, more likely you will be intolerant. Another thing is the way how our crops right now are produced, right? It's a hybrid. So it's not actual wheat, which we used to eat like millions of years ago or cultivated. And this hybrid, it was made specifically for your pasture to be puffy. Because if you remember, I don't know, like I grew up once again in Russia and our pasture was not that puffy. And when I right here in Canada and I see all this sandwich bread, I'm like, how the heck are you doing it? Because the wheat cannot go that puffy. Like there's no way. Right?
Right.
And now I know why, because it's a hybrid, and the hybrid allows us to have that puffy and all that like pastry. And what it does for our body is that we made that evolution of preparing the food differently, but our body has not adjusted to eat it and process it. So what it does is all that, because why is it so puffy? It has gluten, double gluten. So not just gluten, double gluten. Right. And all that gluten basically is a clyster. So it's a glue. It's all end up in your gut. And obviously, when you have that glue in your gut, which tries to fight, like to digest that stuff, it's also going to cause inflammation, right?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Yeah.
The same actually with the dairy, and it's all about how we raise our cattle. Mm-hmm. So, have you ever like been on the cattle before?
Yeah. Right? My grandfather actually had cattle, so yeah, I've seen it.
Awesome. Yeah. So the Norman cattle will just have like I don't know, a couple of cows right in there, maybe 10, but not a huge amount. So in the milk which we drink right now, these cows are huge. You have tons of cows in one little settlement, right? So they barely can move in there. Yeah. So, and thinking about it, the cow cannot produce so much milk compared with how much we produce it. Mm-hmm. Well, it's just normally, it's the same. A woman cannot produce so much milk for a baby throughout her whole life. It's just not natural. So obviously we need to, the producers need to induce something for the meat to be produced more. Even though there were studies showing that it's somewhat fine, it shouldn't affect your health. However, we know that it does affect. Mm-hmm. And another thing is the cows are getting ingested with tons of antibiotics. Why? Because if one cow gets sick, a million of them are going to get sick.
Right. Yep.
So all that ends up in your system. And antibiotics are bad because they alternate your gut flora. Mm-hmm. So if your gut flora does not have good bacteria to help you process the food, we all know we're going to have sensitivities, we're going to have allergies. And I was actually amazed why, and here on this continent, we have so many allergens. Well, now we know why.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So, and soy is the same, very similar thing. So originally soy is a good product, right? But in the countries where it's originated from, it has never been eaten as raw. Mm-hmm. It actually was supposed to be fermented. Why? Because it has a specific element which our body cannot actually digest. Mm-hmm. So it needs to be A, fermented, and B, normally it's eaten only maybe twice a week. So the amount of soy which we are now consuming is definitely not twice a week, right? So soy is added everywhere. I had a client recently who I recommended to go gluten-free, right? And in any pasture which she grabs, she sees soy. Mm-hmm. So right, it's one or another.
Yeah.
Once again, soy is, especially if you have your hormonal imbalances, and I know that you're specializing in it. Soy is definitely not the product which you want to go because it's completely mess up your hormonal system. Yeah. And for me, a big eye-opener on the soy was whenever I was reading about soy formulas and how much, if your baby is allergic to formula itself, a lot of moms are going to go with soy formula. Mm-hmm. And soy formula has so much estrogen, so you literally give a big pill of a big birth control pill to your baby.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So no wonder, why a lot of us who were raised in the soy formula, they don't really associate that they now pretty much sterile.
Yeah. Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. I try to tell all my clients to stay away from soy because it's not good for you. And it does. It wreaks havoc on your hormones and causes your estrogen to go up. And it's just it's not recommended. And there's so many other good foods that you should be eating. You could just leave soy out. So I completely agree. Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about certain supplements let's go back for a minute. I know we were talking about foods that boost egg quality, and we were talking about foods that hurt egg quality. So let's talk about what would boost our egg quality.
So number one is the one which a lot of us probably hate just because we got not so used to it, right? So it's greens. And the reason why I'm laughing is because I have so many clients who are saying, you need to eat more greens, and they're just laughing. It's like, that's not something I get used to. I was raised on potatoes and meat.
Yeah.
Like, I understand. Does it work for you now?
Right.
No. So let's just make little changes and be a little open to whatever actually works and whatever our body needs. And there's so many reasons why our body needs green foods. And I'm speaking about kale, I'm speaking about spinach, and we all know the papaya, right? So who's raising spinach?
Right.
So all these greens will actually help us to digest our food. And the way how our physiology, how anatomy is, so we have quite long intestines, and they're specifically for that purpose, to make sure that we actually can digest plants. If you look at carnivores or even at dogs, their digestive system is not as developed. They don't have so many waves and so long intestines compared with what we have. And the reason being is because they eat obviously meat, right? And meat does not need that long intestines. So that's why whenever we eat greens, it actually helps us to move all these foods in our intestine and have normal stool.
Right.
Right. And also, so it's fiber, and it also has tons of vitamins and minerals, because think about where we're getting all these vitamins and minerals, not from the box. Well,
right.
Actually we do, right? But the main purpose is actually from our soil. And the animals are not getting that because they don't eat soil, they eat plants, right? But then they digest the certain vitamins, so that's how we get, say, vitamin B's from the animal sources, or iron. However, most of the vitamins which we need are actually comes from plants, and I'm not talking about potatoes. I'm talking about plants.
Right.
So that's why we actually need to eat greens. If I know a lot of people just cannot tolerate it, don't like the texture, just play around, like have it baked, have it raw. However, like if we're talking about spinach, raw spinach cannot actually absorb properly. So if you're going to add a little bit of apple cider vinegar or a little bit of lemon, it will be more absorbable for you to eat. So there are ways how you can play around. And if you cannot eat it at all, smoothie.
Yeah.
Just blend everything with everything that you like, and there you go. You're going to get everything that you need in just one shake, right?
Yeah.
So another food is fatty fish. So our hormones depends on a good lipids, right, which would be fats. If we do eat a lot of inflammatory fats, which would be actually red meats, all refined oils like canola oil, rapeseed oil, sesame seed oil, what else? Sunflower oil. So they're all refined oils. They actually don't have all the vitamins and minerals we need, and they also don't have all the oils we need, which would be, one of them would be omega-3. So omega-3 needs, in order for our cells operate normally and have that anti-inflammatory properties. Properties. Properties, yes.
Yes.
So yes. So in order for us to have that balance, there are a couple of ways. Number one, we need to eat more fish, and or plant sources like flaxseed oil, flaxseed or flaxseed oil, chia seeds, hemp seeds are really good, so they're also a good source of omega-3. But we also need to have that balance between omega-3 and omega-6, right? So another way how to do that is obviously supplemented it. However, with supplements, I know this will be the second option, which the second portion of your question. So you need to be careful, because there are two different types: the natural one or synthetic ones. So synthetics are not digested in our body the same way as the natural would be. There is no benefits of having them at all. So at certain points, like saying in folic acid, they will be actually harmful for you, especially if you have some sort of mutation in your genes and you have like a lot of miscarriages. So you want to make sure that the supplements which you're taking are natural. And if we're talking about omega-3, omega-6, there is a nice blend by, I think it's Nature's Beauty is the brand. So they have a nice blend of omega-3, omega-6, and omega-9. So that's where you will actually have all this nice blend in one pill. If you don't really like fish or or saying you're a vegetarian, they do have the flaxseed pills also, like which add the omega-3, and it's digested the way, because normal omega-3, which is comes from the plants, is not actually digested properly in our body. We're not getting all this EPA and DHA which we need, so it actually needs to be digested the way the way the fish does it. So there are actually pills which already have that combination in it. So for those who are vegans, for example.
Yeah.
And another thing, make sure that you eat enough protein. So
Yes,
a lot of women think that.
Let's talk about that and what it looks like for veganism, vegetarianism. Definitely I agree with the protein. So let's dive into that.
Yeah, and I have a couple of clients who are vegans and vegetarians. I myself, I'm a vegetarian. However, it just needs to, it's a little more work and making sure that you have enough protein in your diet. And I'm not talking about start eating meat, start eating
right,
start eating any other animal flesh. No, what I'm saying is you need to, if you're a vegan, you need to really be careful with that you're getting all amino acids the way they should, because if you're eating, for example, grains, they don't have all the chain of amino acids in order for you to build the blocks in your body, the muscles, or have those neurotransmitters, the ones which you need for your brain to operate properly. So you need to make sure that you combine all of them in one food. So saying right combination of foods, like combining vegetables with grains or beans with grains, beans with vegetables, this would be the right combinations and will allow you to actually get your normal protein. Another thing which I normally ask my vegan clients is to make sure that they have at least protein-based powder, because that will allow them to have all amino acids in one. And there are polymers which can actually show you exactly how much amino acids in there to make sure that daily requirement is met.
Okay.
Another thing is with my vegan clients, I normally ask them, give them the questionnaire to understand whether they actually are deficient in certain amino acids. And if I see that, that's when I ask them to start supplementing. They do sell the blend of amino acids. So if you're vegan and you don't really know if you're deficient, you can start just taking just in case, just to make sure that you're getting your daily requirements. So.
Awesome. Yeah.
Speaking about how much do you need to eat protein?
Yes.
So normally you would want to target between 25 and 30 grams per meal, per main meal, right? So it all will depend also on your weight and on your height and your age level as well. So that will be the minimum requirement. And if we're talking about size-wise, because a lot of us probably not gonna measure every single piece, so we're talking about the fist, right? Mm-hmm. So for every person, obviously, the bigger fist you will have, the bigger meat you will eat, right? So which is normal. Right. So for me, it will be like my fist. So with small amounts, that's how much I can understand how much fish or how much eggs I will need to eat. And if you're thinking about quantities and saying in egg amount, so it's about 3 eggs. So that will be 30 grams of protein.
Gotcha. Perfect. I love it. So talk to us a little bit more about supplements. I know we talked just a little bit about that, but is there any, and I know this is tricky because it depends on the person, but is there like a baseline of supplements that you say every person or pretty much every person needs these, and kind of talk a little bit more about that?
Yes, and you're right. So for each person, obviously, those supplements will be different. And I very cautious people to go into herbs. And the reason being is even in Chinese medicine, I know women love to take maca, but they don't really realize that there are different types of maca. And maca which you're taking might not necessarily help your specific condition. So we're talking about Vitex, right? People love to take Vitex just to improve their fertility. However, Vitex is not suitable for everyone. No. So I will be very careful with herbs and with recommendations. Speaking about vitamins and minerals, so that will be slightly different, right? So number one, obviously prenatal vitamins. If you're trying to conceive, 100% prenatal vitamins, and they have to be natural. I do usually have the requirement of what needs to be included, but if you're just going to go into a natural store and just look for the natural ones, so they should be good for you. The brand which I normally recommend to my clients would be Thorn. So it was proven, yeah.
I love Thorn. Yes.
Right? Yeah. So I thought it would be my favorite brand if I'm going to go with prenatal vitamins. Nature's Bounty does have good ones, and Nature's Life, I believe, too.
Okay.
So basically, going into the nature store and you will find the one which you need. Stay away from the synthetic ones for sure. Here in Canada, all the OB-GYNs will recommend you Materna. So
Okay.
synthetic typically. And I was on Materna with my first, when I was trying to conceive and when I was pregnant, and I was deficient almost on every mineral.
Oh my goodness.
So that doesn't work. I was
Yeah.
deficient on iron, which is the worst, especially on the third trimester, because it's not fun to actually supplement with iron at all.
Yeah.
So, number two would be, so if you're taking natural vitamins, they will have already folate in there, not folic acid, folate, the natural source. However, if you think that you will need more, or you have the mutation disease, right, which prevents you from holding the baby, and your body basically attacks the implantation, and then you would want to supplement more and finding the natural source of folate, the natural vitamins. Mm-hmm. Another thing is, most of the time, if you're struggling with infertility, a lot of women are actually deficient on vitamin D. So it's a sun vitamin, especially if you are living in the UK, you're living in Canada, or in northern states in the US. That's definitely, or in Europe even. Like I'm in Russia, and I know that I was deficient in vitamin D. Mm-hmm. So it's 100% a must. And usually, if you don't have the opportunity to go to your doctor and run a panel on vitamin D, normally somewhere between 1,000 and 2,000 would be good to take. So another one will be antioxidants. So there are different ways, like different options for you. The one which I like is microgreens. So they come with a powder, and I take them every morning. So they have a big, like a long list of goodies which are mixed already in there. So that will be one option. Another option would be grapeseed extracts, fantastic antioxidant. I think, that would be bark, but that one is a little trickier. So I would go with those two first. Perfect. And another one will be obviously omegas. And we talked about the blends. So the one which I normally use, omega-3, omega-6, and omega-9, or the cod liver oil.
Perfect.
So that will be definitely one.
I love it. Yes. And those are all ones that I agree with and that I recommend. So that's perfect. Awesome. So talk to us a little bit more about where people can find you. I know you have a really cool free gift. So if you want to talk about that.
Yes.
On your website?
Yes, my website is still under construction, so we're still working on that. But for this episode, I am more than willing just to send you the ebook. So I just finished with the ebook where I talk about more about how to identify foods which hurt your fertility. Mm-hmm. And so I will send it over for you so you can share it with your listeners. So my site is still operates. It's just the old version. You can find me on naturafertility.com, and obviously on my Facebook page. So it's Natura Fertility or Anna Reyes. So, or on Instagram. So I believe it is Natura Fertility as the name there too. Perfect. Oh, and my YouTube channel.
Yes.
So I already have, yes. So my YouTube channel, also Natura Fertility, and I post a lot of valuable videos in there. So I hope that your listeners are going to stop by and evaluate what I'm offering.
Yeah, definitely. And I had a look at that little ebook you put together, and it's beautiful. Yes. So everybody definitely, we'll put the links under this video so you guys can check that out. And talk to me for a minute about how people can work with you. Like, do you have packages? How do you work with your clients? And so if any of our listeners want that information, you can tell them.
I'll tell you a secret. I love making friends.
Yay!
Right? So I was thinking, like, when I started my my business, I was thinking to do programs, but then I'm like, I want to have that opportunity to work with people one-on-one. So I love working with people, and I love making friends. So I do offer my program my program name is holistic holistic fertility booster, and I have different types where people can choose from depending on what support they need. And the only way I can understand it by obviously talking to them and making new friends.
Yes.
And so this is basically a one-on-one coaching program, which I offer ranging between 3 months or 6 months, depending how much support they need and where they're going to get pregnant faster or sooner.
Yeah, I love it. So, and how would somebody book a call with you? Just email you?
They can submit the form. So I do have the evaluation form just to see whether we can actually be a potential suit for the conversation first, right? And then once we have that evaluation, we have the normal 45 minutes chats. And I'm not a salesperson,
right?
So I don't tip into the program right away, because the purpose of the call is basically understand where you're at and whether I can actually help you. Because if I see that there is no way I can help you, I don't want to waste your time, right? And I don't want you to waste money for something that's more likely it's not going to work for you. So basically, yes, the first conversation is for us to get to know each other. And if we see that you and me can work together, that's obviously will be a second call where we will be deeper into the programs and what option is going to be suitable for you.
Gotcha. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And I know that all of my listeners could get a lot of benefit from working with you. So yeah, I hope they reach out and take advantage of that. Awesome.
Thank you so much, Kayla.
Yeah. So any final thoughts before we wrap up?
No, just the only thing which I always ask my clients is to make sure that they don't stress themselves out. And I know this is the common phrase which actually can get you even angry. Don't stress yourself out.
Right.
Just relax. Like nobody out of who tries to conceive. But you know what? There is a little truth into that, right? So I know it's hard to, whenever so many thoughts go into your mind, to actually try to relax, but trying to find some other activity and get your thoughts out of what you're doing is actually helping a lot. And there is a reason why, like a lot of women, they drop the ball and they decide, you know what, I'm done with that. And then they get pregnant right away, because the stress we create for ourselves by thinking over and over again about, oh my goodness, now it's ovulation time, I need to make sure that my husband is ready. It's puts stress on you, it puts stress on your relationship with your husband. So it puts stress on him too, because boys do not talk a lot with us, right, about how they feel. We just find out it after the fact, when they're like, enough, I don't want to have babies anymore, I'm done.
Right.
No, you don't want to be in that position. So yes, just finding different ways, breathing techniques, meditation, or journaling. And journal, I don't mean just take something and write in there. The clinical way of how you do it is literally take a piece of paper and write everything you have in your mind, like nonstop, 5 to 10 minutes, just nonstop writing. Trust me, you'll feel amazing after. And so I tried for myself. It's just like mind blowing.
Yes, I love it. Well, thank you so much, Anna. It's been so fun to get to know you and to have you on my show. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Bye, guys. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Hormone Puzzle Podcast. Check out the show notes for today's episode at CoachKayla.com. If you like what you hear, please subscribe and leave a review. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you next week.